Kia ora tātou. In the news today, what would have been one of the most peaceful Waitangi celebrations in years was marred today by infighting over who would escort the Prime Minister onto the Lower Marae. After a 40-minute standoff, John Key was eventually led in by Te Tii Marae and a few other women. Mr. Key explained why he didn't just give up and leave.
It's the easy thing for me to say, well, I won't come and walk away, but actually it's an important part of the engagement of dialogue between the Crown and Māori. If we want to have a sensible discussion, let's do that, but if you want to let a bunch of thugs sort of jump around with bullhorns, we're not going to go anywhere, are we?
Te Tii Chief Kingi Taurua was frustrated by how events played out, saying Te Tii Harawira deliberately flouted his wishes. But her son Hone Harawira defended his mother. The Mana Party leader declared that Te Tii has escorted the country's leaders onto Te Tii Marae for years and will continue to do so.
She's a very strong individual. I think that she's always positive about the opportunity that Waitangi provides for us to raise issues.
A police crackdown on a large paedophile ring has resulted in the arrest of a 40-year-old man. Aaron Elmas has appeared in the Hastings District Court, facing 60 charges for his crimes involving children aged from 13 months to 13 years. Mr. Elmas has been remanded in custody to be sentenced in May. Pharmac has taken a significant step towards forming a national list of hospital medicines. The first 2 of 16 therapeutic medicine groups have been approved for cardiology and rheumatology treatments. Pharmac says a national list ensures funding criteria is the same for both hospital and community medicines. The full list will be published on July the 1st. The Earthquake Recovery Minister is looking at law changes to address planning concerns for Christchurch. Jerry Brownlee met with councillors today with the long-term plan in his sights.
But it's a 10-year plan, and the question is, can you put together a plan like that when there is such uncertainty?
And Sir Paul Holmes' family have thanked the New Zealand public for all their support following the broadcaster's death. Sir Paul's body has now left his Hawke's Bay home and is travelling to Auckland ahead of his funeral on Friday. The countdown to the census is underway. Census is due to be held exactly a month from now and will give government statisticians a snapshot of the country's demographics to support future planning. Forms will be delivered at the end of next week. To international news, Afghans and Pakistan's leaders have met in London and pledged to reach a peace settlement for Afghanistan within 6 months. UK Prime Minister David Cameron welcomed the developments.
Our discussions today have focused on 2 important issues: the Afghan-led peace process and strengthened cooperation between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And we've made progress on both these issues.
Afghan President Hamid Karzai and his Pakistani counterpart Asif Ali Zardari are also hoping for an office in Qatar to facilitate peace talks with Taliban insurgents.
So that we in Afghanistan can all participate in building our country's future.
To the U.S., the 7-day hostage situation in Alabama has ended with the release of the young victim and the death of his abductor. War veteran Jimmy Lee Dykes had snatched the 5-year-old schoolboy from a bus and kept him in an underground bunker. The Syrian government is fighting a war on a new front. The border with Lebanon has become a major crossing point for armed terrorist groups trying to infiltrate Syria. Locals say hundreds have passed through recently to join what they call a jihad against the regime. Syrian authorities have boosted border security, capturing many such militants. And finally, history is being rewritten in England with news that a 500-year-old skeleton found under a car park in Leicester is that of King Richard III. Skeletal DNA matches 2 of his maternal relatives. The royal skeleton also bore the scars of battle, and contrary to Shakespeare's depiction, he was not a hunchback. Welkanuinga karere matua mai te whare korero rima, mori ora.